Did you change your battery? And I'm like, there's a battery? Hey, Rockstar. So you just got a bass. I bet you're like, what do I do with it? Well, I'm going to show you what you do with it. So first things first is holding it. All right. So you're going to, this little guy here, this little curve, the waist of your new precious babe, it's going to sit right on your right leg. Okay. And sometimes it's helpful if whenever you practice, if you have like a footstool or something, so you can bring it up a little bit closer to you. A lot of times when people start to play, they find that they're on their point of their toe all the time, lifting their leg up. Right now my legs are crossed, but it's not really conducive to really long practice sessions. So something to be aware of. Okay, the next thing is the neck of the guitar. You don't want it to be like super close up to your face, but you don't want it to be super down either. And horizontal's not conducive either. So it's really like at this kind of angle here, slightly shifted up. Now, when you're first starting playing too, you're trying to see where your frets and stuff are. I get it. So your bass can lean back a little bit, but be careful to not play your bass like this, with it sliding down in your lap. And if your bass keeps slipping down, like you have a big bass and you're a small person, use that guitar strap, okay? And just tighten it up so it doesn't slide anywhere when you're practicing. All right, the next thing you're going to need to do is tune your bass. So you can download a tuning app to your phone. I will tell you, because the E string is so low, sometimes phones have a hard time picking it up, so that one can be a bit. But we have a tuner here, and you can get a Snark tuner off like Amazon for like $12. So it's not really a crazy investment, but man, it's worth it. It's worth it because you use this thing every time you play. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn on your tuner or your app. You're going to strum your E string. Now you're like, what's an E string? Well, there's 4 strings on the bass, right? We have E, A, D, G. And so we can say Elizabeth ate dirty garbage. All right? E, A, D, G. It does not sound good when you strum it. But now we know our notes. Okay, so with E, I'm going to pluck it. And then you see on my little screen here, it pops up like, hi, I'm an E. And I'm going to make it a little crazy here. So let's say it's on F sharp. All right, well, I got to go back to get to E. So I'm going to loosen my string and try to get that line straight up and down in the middle in that green zone. All right, and then this is going to take some tweaking and just getting used to, but you'll get faster at it over time. And the whole time you're doing this tuning with turning the pegs up here, you're plucking your strings down here so it keeps ringing. There you go. Now we're on G. Oh, but maybe I should plug in. Okay, so to plug in, I have this cord here, and I have a little hole in my bass. I'm just going to stab it like so. Now, you might have an active bass or passive bass. And what that means is sometimes basses have battery in it. My bass has a battery in it, so I don't want to leave it plugged in all the time. If you leave your bass plugged in all the time and it has a battery in it, your battery will die, and one day you'll be like, my bass is dead. My life is over. Because that has happened to me. And then they were like, oh, did you change your battery? And I'm like, there's a battery? Yeah, there's a 9-volt battery in this one. But some of them don't have batteries. So if you have a little spot on the back of your bass, that means there's a battery in there. Don't leave it plugged in. The next thing is you're going to plug it into your amp. So I have an amp here, and it has 2 holes I can plug into. There's an input jack, and there's a headphone jack. Well, I don't want to plug my bass into my headphone jack because nothing's going to happen. I'm going to put it into the one that says input. And this amp's pretty basic. It's got a gain. And gain is also another word for volume. But if you have 2 knobs, one that says volume and one that says gain, you turn the gain up, you just get a little bit of distortion, like crunchy, like metal-y, rocky, kind of rough sound, okay? Then I've got low, mid, and high. So you can just just turn everything like up and down in the middle for now. You can mess around with your tone settings later, but just make sure they're not like all the way one direction, all the way the other direction until you know what you're doing with sound more. For right now, you're just going to be focused on the technique of the bass. All right, and then I'm going to turn this bad boy on. So the next thing that we need to talk about is plucking the strings. Whenever I'm plucking strings on bass, I use my pointer finger and my middle finger. And I go back and forth between the two. You don't use the same finger over and over again. It's just not good practice. You can't play as fast and your hands get tired quicker. All right, so you utilize these two strings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna either place my thumb on my pick guard or I'm gonna place it on my pickup. Some basses don't have pick guards and that's cool. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't like this feeling. I just want it to be like here. But if your hand floats around, you lose your place easier. You need an anchor point. So your bass could just touch the face of, or your hand could touch the face of your bass. Aww. Or rest on the pickup or rest on the pick guard, but somewhere it has to be anchored down. All right. Next, you're going to go plucking the E string with me. So we're just going to glide it through. And here really slowly you can see I'm not digging in that hard. Plucking my bass string back and forth. Do it with me. Pointer, middle, pointer, middle, pointer, middle. When I'm doing it, I'm only strumming like, yeah, can you even see that? It looks crazy. Okay, like that much my finger. Not too much. You want it to like roll right off. So you're using the fingertip. All right, now let's go to the A string. So the thing that happens is when you get to the A string, you have the E string behind it to fall on. And so when you pluck, you want to strum through, but then your finger just chills on the E string. Chilling on the E string. So what this does is this helps eliminate string noise, like the extra sounds that come off your bass when you're not trying to hit that string. It's just happening anyway. So we're silencing that string every time we strum. So do it with me. Pointer, middle. Make sure you touch that E string. So no matter what, each time that finger's falling back to the string to mute it. There's no point where I don't have contact with the string when I'm strumming the A string, the D string, and the G string. So let's go to D. D. And I just realized, well, my thumb was attached to the side there, but now I just move my thumb to the pickup. Move down to G now. Now see, when I switch strings, I still switch fingers. No matter what, I'm alternating. On the way up anyway. So when I go back down, I can fall through, but this one ends up bringing out. So it depends on what kind of sound you're going for, really. But so now we're going to go G to D, and that time my middle finger was the one I hit G with last, so I just let it fall through to the next string. This one was my pointer finger. You see how that works? Which you can still hit it with the other finger on your way back up, but it's personal preference for me to just do it like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you something really easy. There's a song called Island in the Sun by Weezer, and it's an adorable animal video. It's adorable, okay? The main part of the song is just E, A, D, and G. So I want you to pull that song up and play along with it at some point as like part of your practice. And this is just going to help you switch strings. You don't have to do anything up here yet, okay? So you're going to go E, E, A, D, D, G, G, E, E, A, D, D, strings. E, A, D, G, E, D. I don't know why I just groaned. G. All right. Now we're going to do it a little bit faster. So if you need to stay at that speed, just rewind the video. But here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. E, E, A, D, D, G, G, E, E, A, D, D, G, G, E, E, A, D, D, G, G, E, E, A, D, D, G, G. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things they seem to you. That wasn't the right words. And I want to feel it too. Okay, cool. So that is a really great song to just practice getting the hang of, going from string to string and using the right kind of plucking position. All right, for this next song I'm going to show you, we're going to explore the actually pushing down the frets. And I do want to add actually that you can play with a pick, but I really suggest that when you first start playing bass, you play with your fingers so you get used to it. I feel like pick is an easy way to start, but you want to build in these muting habits with your hands before you even touch a pick. Okay, that being said, we're going to go to the first fret on the E string. And what do I mean by fret? Frets are these boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a bunch of them, right? Each little square is called a fret. And when I say the first fret, I mean the first box. I'm going to put my finger right before the bar, not too far down, right before the bar. You don't have to push it as hard and it'll sound better. So you're going to play that. Well, it's still getting rattly. Now this one's the hardest to push down because it's the thickest string, the farthest away, right? So I'm going hit, hit, then I'm stopping the string, okay? And so practicing muting is super important for bass. We have to get those notes really, really clean because if bass notes bleed together, it sounds kind of messy and gross. So what we're gonna, like, sometimes you want to do it, but whenever you do it, you want it to be intentional. So you're gonna strum this string here, and you're gonna stop it with your middle finger. So you're gonna strum it with your pointer finger and stop it. And stop it. So each time you pluck, you land your finger on it when you want to make it stop. And then when you pluck it again, you just use that same finger to pull it through. So let me get a little closer and show you exactly what I'm doing here. So I just rip my cord out. Let me show you a little trick here. If you go up underneath your strap and come out this way, if you step on your cord, it won't fall out. Also, good practice to turn your amp off before you plug in. It'll sound like that. Okay. So I'm going F, which is the first fret on the E string, and you can play it like that, or for right now, you can play it like this if you're not yet strong enough. Okay. Hit, hit, mute, 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 hit, hit. I call you when I need you. My heart is on fire. Come to me, wild and wide. Ooh, Schitt's Creek shout out. Okay, so now we've got Simply the Best by Tina Turner. Okay, so we're gonna go boom, boom, doom, boom, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, boom, go to open D, but we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna mute this string, same pattern. So you do that 1, 2, 1, 2. You do it 4 times, and then you go to the first fret on the A string, and that one you do 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. You're simply the best. Yeah, there you go. Better than all the rest. Better than D and A. Now we go to the 3rd fret on the A string this time. I'm stuck on your heart. F there. So you're here a little bit longer. Now we go to D, open D. Now back to 1 on A. And then she goes back into the verse. And that's it. All right. So you just learned 2 songs. You learned Weezer, and you learned Weezer's Island in the Sun, and you learned Simply the Best by Tina Turner. I hope that this was super helpful. I have a online school for women and non-binary folks called Lady Rockstars. You can do all kinds of videos from me. You can make song requests. You can talk to other cool, rad women and folks in our discussion forum, and I also do live classes too. So if any of that speaks to you, hit me up. The link's posted below. All right, take care, y'all. Happy bass playing. Congratulations. Yeah.